All right, it's another day, probably about 35 degrees. Actually, it feels great. I had to take off a little bit of a layer because I was already getting hot, and I haven't even really started yet. But borrowed this compressor, will not start. All the basics are there, but I don't have time to mess with it. So I'll leave that for rest later. I'll see if I can fix that, figure out what it is. But I just don't have time to mess with that. Need to get on with the bridge, so I'm just going back to the old little generator and the pancake compressor in the lines. I just got the little generator warming up. We'll kick on that little, that thing's been great actually. I mean, it's ran for hours and hours, and I've had this thing for years. So sometimes cheap and small is good. But everything has been stationary, rested where we stopped. But it had rained. If you'll see some water on here, this is what I was talking about with, we need to get this to drain, but I need to come up more. You can tell sag, it's a little bit deeper, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to shovel away some of the silt and mud that's here. This is still from the flood, actually. I'm going to shovel a channel out. So as I start lifting this up, how you like this pointer? As I lift that corner more and more up, I want to get this reversed a little bit. That I may have to carry a bucket of water up here and just throw it down and make sure that we're draining off, I think, maybe that end. So let me get going on this. All right, good. Thought I'd show this before I do actually get going, but went ahead and shoveled a trough down through this silt, but you can see there's no water at the end. I went down through here, I gotta watch my step. Deeper here, just a little bit. And then we get to here and it stops and it goes to the end. So this shows that light swag we were talking about that's always going to be on a bridge. So I don't think we've got a whole lot to reverse. And that's really what I'm going to target this time. Maybe not even the 8 inches, but enough to get that. And as long as this water runs off that end of the bridge, we're going to call it and go on to forming. So cross your fingers, pray before and after crossing fingers, and let's get set. End is sitting on stuff, and it's a little bit lower in the center, most likely from where we compressed stuff last time. So what I just done is pick up the sled. It's one of the reasons for these bull rings with the chain, with the Traco, lift it up and actually shovel some gravel back under towards the center, set it back down on it. Now this jack is very close to where its starting point is going to be right on concrete. This one's got a gap. So what I'm going to do is I brought down some pressure treated, just using these for, I will only go like 1 or 2 levels with this as shims. Alright, so I'm just filling in this tray with gravel now. This thing has much lower height. Of course, I dumped some on there with the Traco. We'll fill this up with gravel, put one of the boards down and see if I can get it to the height closer here. Got to get the extender holes, have to get those cleaned out before I get started. Boy, when you just need a stick. Oh, wire tie. Way easier to get that stuff out when it's on its side. You can see, well, I've got this thing here, the base of this thing. Boy, it just keeps ripping. This is a solid, pretty solid gig here, but this encasement, you'll see it tipping up sometimes when it's loaded different ways. So not a great design on that part, but that's, I guess it's okay if it goes. All right, well, let's see how this does. We're just on the gravel, and I know it's going to push it, but another little safety thing, there's some pieces of wire sticking out on this stuff, so just got to be careful. let the compressor catch up, and I'm going to take a look at this jack. I can pretty much guarantee, I think this is the one that this drain actually came out the other day, and I bet you something's got down in there or something, so I'm going to take a look at it real quick. Let's try that as well. All right, so I think I'm gonna go get, there's a very large piece of steel, well, not very large, but much larger. I'm gonna go get that plate and let the air compressor catch up and go get that and see if we can use this in this system too. You see that thick piece of, that's what it just did to that piece of steel. What kind of pressure we're dealing with there. No hands under. Remember the safety. A little bit hard to roll on that gravel. All right, I can see a little more of a gap on this side on this chunk of concrete. So I'm gonna go find something to jam up in there. And got a little bit, not much. This side, you can see the concrete bag. Whoa, that is a huge spider. It's about that big. That's big. But anyway, Jason got all these bags up under here, and these were just a set to give it something firm so that we didn't lose this when we lift. And it seems like it's worked pretty well, but it's gotten to the stage where I need to get some shimming under this end too, because we've lifted that much. But we still got the old form boards, so I need to get those off of here. And so I can see where this lip is and all that. So we'll see what we can destroy here. Oh, that's coming off way easier than the other ones. Let's just go end to end. Looks like none of the rebar over here is really bent, so it's coming off straight, which is cool. All right. Bunch of nails. Got another slab over here. I've been back and forth a couple times working this. We're getting real close to being, when I took the rock out, and we're getting real close to getting this chunk under there. That's going to be a good push. Been able to kick this push this farther back up under there as the shim midways and another rock over there. So we'll do a little bit more. If we can get this under there, we've really made some good progress. Get that under a little bit more, probably even half an inch would. We'll set it down on it. I think what you're starting to see too is this pivot actually starting to work. So we don't have quite as much to lift. I think we keep doing that. That's helping our lifting power a bit. Get this all the way down. We got the next one. Let's see if that'll give us just a smidget more we need. I don't really, this is the most I'd want. This smaller area with these pieces, pretty much got to work the circle of that cylinder. This does not want to scoop on this rustier piece. Slightly less than half of the 40 on some part of that. All right, there's a good sign. Remember, this was all sunk in the middle with the water. Without doing anything else, it has started to drain to this end and go to that corner, and it is flowing. That's a really, really good sign. Very slowly moving out of there. This is pretty much drained off, so I'm going to say it's not going to be much more, maybe even 2 or 3 inches. But there is one problem. I'm going to have to shift strategy. I've been watching, let me go down to this corner and I can kind of show you. If you do old Pythagorean theorem, a square, b square equals c square, kind of jazz. I'm basically looking at a right angle triangle. And I'm starting to see a little bit of tilt this base out, kind of a look for that triangle that should be there. So I need to shift all my lifting to that side for a little bit. Punch these shims under really good. I'm going to probably move the 80-ton jack to the other side. Use it. We'll lift, shim, and try to see if we can bring that side up a little bit, pivot it a little bit. Yeah, let me shift my lifting points and move a couple lines and keep rolling. We're so close. All right, we got another look. Here's something that you can definitely notice. I think an angle type thing like this really helps. It's kind of like water levels with an angled meter, but that angle of the catwalk, how much higher it is up in the air, that's definitely a tell sign of it. But I forgot to point on the last clip I was going to show about, I'm thinking that the wall is starting to do a little bit of that. So I'm going to switch all the lifting to the back. One of the signs it's going to show you is if you see along the I-beams, you can see that little gap forming. So definitely got to switch to this side. So as soon as I'll keep lifting on this side, I'll tight shim this. I'm going to push rocks under, a big rock under here to get something to settle down on that corner, hoping to kind of tilt it back a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to go get on the traco. It's time to move some bigger rocks for a minute. Remember I said something about you need to pick your wore out time where you're just fatigued before you start. You know, you still got to have time to pick up. Oh, it was close today. I think my knees are tired and yeah, my body's done and I'm actually getting colder now. I don't want to put all the other stuff back on. So anyway, I get the traco back up here. I always kind of park it somewhere where I can get to it to jump start if I need. I've left it somewhere before, from where vehicles can get to it, and it was dead one time. So I just positioned that for ready for the next thing. But pretty much I think really the bridge is where it's going to be. The water actually drained. I mean, it's still wet there from where the water was, but it drained off to that corner and ran from this side. You can still see I've got the tilt here for a little bit. The angles that I look at stuff say like, well, I want that up a little bit more. But when I put the laser on it again and tested with the water, it's doing what we need to do. And this road comes and the turn goes this way. So a little bit of cant plus upstream, that's not bad, but let's go look from another angle. You know what, I'm not even putting up the jacks right now, just left them there. The pressure is off of them, they've been released. Everything's sitting on the shims and relaxed, and you can kind of see how much is down there. Let's just go down, I'll let you see this gap underneath. Yeah, you can see over in that corner. Now you can see where the metal is going to get welded. Where's my finger? There it is. From the post there to the other side. And plus I've got a really good gap there for concrete to get underneath it. So I can shim everywhere, but I don't want to because I want concrete to flow underneath. So let me get this zoomed back out. Try to watch what I'm doing here. Well, this is treacherous. Let's try to get over these rocks here. All right. Yeah, quite a bit higher. And you can kind of see this whole gap under there. So with a good slump that'll allow this to flow, I think we'll get enough concrete forced up under there with concrete pump to be okay. But I got to grab these tools over here. That jack, that thing's heavy. But I think that's it. I'm just barely on that corner there. But we're good. Next video should be building forms and concrete. So y'all have a blessed day. I'm gonna head to the couch and watch TV, all that good stuff. But y'all take care. Thanks for watching if you watched the whole thing. And I'll try to make a condensed video that's got a lot of shorter clips of the whole thing. I think once I'm done, or maybe up to this step. But all right, y'all take care. I'll see you later. Bye.